and welcome to the Dragovan channel. My name's Caravan,
And I'm Dragovar.
and he's the fat one who wants bacon every night. I'm not kidding.
You work at a pizza shop. You absorb the grease from all that
I
stuff.
love working at a pizza shop because I get to work with pizza. I mean, it's fantastic. It's a fat man's dream. But I got fired for eating a cupcake from a different job, so my boss has threatened to fire me if he catches me eating the bacon. But every time he comes over to my house, he wants to bitch about not having bacon.
I have 8 pounds back home. I just need to remember it.
Alright, before this tangent goes any further, alright, today's episode, we're going to talk about ourselves. We're going to explain where we started off when we started playing WoW, and just a little bit about our personalities.
And why you should love us.
Please love us.
Please.
Alright, because he did not start, we're going to do this chronologically from when WoW first started. Because he wasn't around during Vanilla, I'll start it off. I started playing Vanilla because one of my friends, Cameron, bought World of Warcraft, and he goes, "Dude, you gotta come over and check this out. This game is awesome. It's a big MMO, everyone can play it together." We didn't even know what the hell MMO meant, we just knew it was fun to say, because
Momo. I thought it was a weapon of mass destruction, like a code name for a giant bomb.
So he bought it, he played it, he started off as a hunter, which was really funny, because I enjoy hunters, he hates hunters. But he had a pet, and he tried out all of his classes: warrior, hunter, priest, warlock. He stuck with undead warlock. But I remember specifically me getting pissed off because the first day he was on the Echieki quest in the Barrens, and he made me wait with him because he accidentally destroyed the item, and he didn't know that you could just restart the quest and get the item again. So during Vanilla, we all sucked horribly, and I used to watch a lot, but I never played. I had characters on other people's accounts, including the guy who lived with me, can't be named. I played on that, got to around level 30, then bought my own account using my parents' money. Mommy, can I please have an account?
Yeah, he's the one who gets the stuff from his parents. I don't.
Yeah, I used the crappy old family computer when we got a new one, and I asked for an account, and they paid for it for quite a while. But as soon as I got a job, I started paying for it for myself. But anyway, I played WoW until about Burning Crusade, and when Burning Crusade popped, I was level 42 exactly. I remember that day very well. Alrighty, Burning Crusade.
Alright, during Burning Crusade, that's when I started dabbling in WoW. I was a very lonely child who spent all my time dreaming I was on the internet because I didn't have a computer. So, finally what I did, I saw WoW and thought I'd give it a try. I died almost immediately. Level 1, don't ask me how. I thought it was one of those games where you just automatically resurrect. Actually, no, I remember why I died. I was trying to explore.
I'm so curious.
I think I ran into a level 20 zone as level 1. It just got instantly one-shot by everything. All at once. The entire zone pulled on me. But anyways, I sat there contemplating why I died and thinking that after a little bit I just automatically resurrect. With games like Skyrim or anything else, you'll just restart a little ways back, they'll just penalize you and instantly give you life back. After about a minute I realized that it was one of those waiting things, you had to wait for it to resurrect you. I waited and waited. Eventually I got bored, I shut it off, came back the next day, where I continued waiting. I did that for the entire 10-day trial period. And that was my first experience with WoW. So yeah, that was fun.
Oh, also, I got a new keyboard yesterday. It's awesome, and it's very loud, so if that gets annoying, let us know in the comments.
I'll punch him.
Yep. Speaking of that, I remember my first tune I ever played was a Night Elf, and I wanted a Night Elf Hunter with bows and a two-handed broadsword, and that was what I wanted. And back then, especially as a Night Elf, the sword training for two-handed and one-handed swords, which I thought were the coolest, was all the way the hell in Stormwind. Now think about it. When you're a level 1 character, they don't tell you how to get to Stormwind from Darnassus. So you had to get up, take the boat to the dwarf city town. I don't even know how. Find your way to Ironforge. And when you got in Ironforge, then you can take the railway and you can get to Stormwind by sword training. Took me forever to even figure out that you're supposed to do that. And I got to that dwarf town, which is only a level 20 zone, and going to try to get to the sword training, I died to a bunch of crocodiles. They literally ate me alive. I got really angry and I stopped playing that Night Elf. became a troll.
Yeah, that's always fun.
Alright, so my Burning Crusade stories. Okay, my Burning Crusade story starts off with me at level 42, and I leveled up to level 60. My friends have been raiding in vanilla for quite a while, so I wanted to raid when I got to level 70, but I hated the way it worked. And I hated the way it works, and I hated how everything went with it. But what I would do is I would grind. I never thought I was good enough to actually do quests, because quests required you to go out of your way and go back to town, turn it in, come back, do different things every time. You never knew what you were doing.
He was even lazy back then.
No, it was actually I thought it was quicker to grind because you never had to go back to town, you never had to stop, you never had to do anything. You just killed mob after mob after mob, and I thought the math behind it was quicker. And I didn't think I was good enough. So, at around level 56, I noticed in Silithus that the mobs were annoying to kill, but I wasn't getting much experience, and I just knew it was going to take me forever. So probably about 2 bars into level 56, I thought of the brightest idea I've ever had. Take a port to Shatrath, run your low level all the way to Hellfire Peninsula, and grind there, because that gives you a lot more experience per kill. Except for the amount of experience you needed still took fucking forever, because I killed boars from level 56 to level 58. And nothing but boars, over and over in a small little circle, until I leveled 58, and I got my first quest, and I said, screw it, I'm not grinding anymore, I'm questing purely. And I did nothing but quests after that.
Yep. That was fun times.
And then I did eventually reach max level during Burning Crusade, but I sucked. I didn't do any I did some PvP, got some really, really bad gear, never really got anything good, and I never got into arena. So I had like a few good items that I kept, but other than that, no.
Yeah.
Alright, Wrath.
Alright, during Wrath, close to the time that Wrath hit, me and Austin actually met. We had a mutual friend who introduced us for his birthday. We went to an amusement park. While we were there, we just kept going and going on this one roller coaster.
17 times.
We memorized it, backwards and forwards.
We'd actually turn completely around.
Like so.
And play. And keep our eyes back closed.
And say, okay, now...
Left
dip,
turn.
dip.
Oh, wait, right if you're back. Up, down, up. We have it memorized still.
Yeah. Yes, John, they can see the screen. At times.
One of our friends is talking to me through a while, and he's like, hey, guys.
Same mutual friend.
Same mutual friend.
We'll have him say hi sometime.
Eventually.
Eventually.
So, we hung out all day, and that was pretty fun. But then, when he started going to the same school as me, that's when we actually hung out a lot, and that was right towards the end of Wrath of the Lich King.
Actually, great story about that. We had the same math class, and what happened was we were in the very back of the room, so you know that we had fun. There was a couple of things that we did. One, there was the ring game.
Well, let's just do the circle game story for now. We'll explain the different one later. But circle game. You guys ever heard about it during high school? This was a couple years ago, so it's quite old. But you hold a circle like this, and you put it underneath your crotch. You can pretend like somebody's ball gazing. Now, what that meant is you got the right to punch them for staring at what they thought was your ball, and you made a joke about it and whatnot. Best story we've ever seen is they used to do it in class all the time, and they would hold their hand down like this and try to get at each other. One guy spent a full 5 minutes drawing out a hand in the shape of that on a piece of paper, put it on the ground very gently using his foot, and tapped a guy and said, hey buddy, could you pick up that piece of paper? I shit you not. The guy goes, aw, and then gets punched in the face. It was great.
Perfect. Alright, now, another fun story about that is there was a guy who sat in front of us, always wore a hoodie, every single day.
Alright.
And what me and Austin did was we decided it'd be fun to try to fill it as far as we could.
Pass me the note paper.
With paper fillings. So, what we would do is this.
You know this little part right here on the notepad where if you tear out a piece of paper, you get that little, like, fuzzy crap that everyone hates? Well, what we would do is we would keep a lot of it and store it all up and take them all out, then rip them up a little bit and put them in his hoodie. And he always wore the same hoodie every time. And for the first week and a half, he never figured out when he was getting all this paper in his hoodie, except for sometimes he wouldn't even put up his hoodie during class. So he would have a hood full of all his paper, and by the end of the day, he would, if it was raining or something, at the end of the day, he would flip up his hood and all his paper would fly around him. He's like, "Mother, when did this happen?"
It was great.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had good times. That's how me and him met. And he is actually the one who got me fully into WoW. After that horrible experience I had, I didn't want to touch the game again. Until he told me that he could recruit a friend and he could guide me along on everything.
I'll help you, I swear. And at that point, when you have a new player and you speed through the levels so quickly to a point where the game gets so complex, it's a sweet system if you're not trying to teach anyone anything. If somebody knows what they're doing, it's awesome. If they don't, recruit a friend is just a trap that causes bad WoW players, because it's essentially like a veteran WoW player dragging along a leash with a dead puppy on the end of it. And you love your puppy, even though you're kind of sadistic for thinking about it. You still have a dead puppy dangling on the end of this leash, and it's kind of sad because you still have to dangle it around. I swear, we would kill mobs and do quests together to a point where I would run in there with a shaman, enhance at the time, and I would start attacking stuff, bring it down about 40% health. He would realize I was attacking, start wanding the enemy, and that was all he would do. No Shadow Bolt, no corruption, no dots whatsoever. That's all he had time to do at the time. That was his excuse.
Yeah. It's true, though.
Yeah.
I mean, as a warlock, you really have to anticipate what's going to happen.
Yep, we got to about 47, and I think the Dungeon Finder came out. He did a bunch of those dungeons by himself, got to 55, and made a Death Knight.
Yep. Actually, I remember it very vividly. It was me, him, and our mutual friend John, and we pretty much were going through the dungeon. About halfway, I dinged 55. I said, "Fuck you," and just left.
Just gone.
Yeah.
I don't even know if we finished the dungeon, but it was kind of funny because he was just gone completely.
Yeah. I made a Death Knight on a different server because I wanted to start raiding with one of my teachers who also played WoW.
That's a different story for a different time.
Yeah.
Cool guy. Alrighty,
He doesn't like me at all. Another different story, but...
Different story. Alrighty, so during Wrath, I leveled up from 70 to 80 pretty quickly. I wasn't the quickest leveler, but I was kept up with my friends, and I tried PvPing at the beginning because I have a friend who was a PvPer, and that was the only game I thought I could get into. I didn't think I was good enough to raid. So I PvP'd for up until ICC came out, and then I figured out you could do the heroics, get pretty dang good gear, and then farm out a bunch of tokens and whatnot and get all the gear that you needed. Well, that worked out to a point, and then I kept pugging ICC, but I was never able to get a guild. I really suck at getting into guilds.
He's not assertive enough at all.
Hey, could I get into your guild if possible? I mean,
if it doesn't bother you.
I'm a pretty good player. You make that reference you made last time, I'll hurt you. I'm a pretty good player, I swear. I have the gear for it, please. Can I get into a guild? Or I would get into a guild after I have plenty of recommendations and whatnot, and they would all blow.
Yeah.
So I'm not good at getting guilds.
At all. I actually got him into the guild that we're in right now. It's kind of funny. He was trying to do PvP at the time. He had a heroic set, and it was just meh. So, anyways, this is back first tier of Cataclysm. I was with the second raid group, and they were trying to start a third, and I was like, hey, I have a friend who is raiding during ICC. It's pretty good. He'll get along with it. So, they invited him in for a couple of fights, and he raped.
We started off with Bastion and Twilight, and that was fun. I remember we beat the first boss after like 3 attempts, and when we beat the first boss, I'm like, can I get an invite? This is really fun. I really like you guys. Invite, possibly? And I was only one boss kill behind and everyone else when it came to reputation with the guild. And they all came from a different server, so they knew each other, so I was just joining into an already pre-formed raid group, and it was really cool.
Yeah.
Really fun, too.
It was a lot of fun. And then at that point, I kind of became the whore of the group guild that we were in. It was called At War's End. And I started off in Group 2. When Austin joined Group 3, I said, hey, I want to join in since there's an open spot. I left the group that I was in and tried joining them. They had already filled the position.
Mm-hmm.
The week after, the first group invited me in because they knew I was a pretty good writer. They knew I was out of luck. So I went in there.
And another spot opened up in the third group with me.
And I left the first group.
And tried joining the third group. And that spot immediately got filled up again.
which made me very sad.
So then he was groupless. He left the guild for a little bit, and then there was somebody who had to leave from our group. So he came back to the guild like nothing happened and said, "I'm with you guys now. I'm raiding with Caravan. I'm happy." And we just kept raiding together.
Yep.
Ever since Firelands.
Yep, second week of Firelands.
Yep.
That was fun. So yeah.
I'm pretty sure we're at Cataclysm now. So Cataclysm, I started off with Cataclysm. I was in a guild that was gonna get ready to raid. I know we're kind of jumping around a little bit.
Yeah.
But I was in a guild where we were about to start raiding, and it was fun because we were gearing up for heroics back when heroics used to be really hard at the beginning of the expansion. And I kept doing a bunch of groups with some of the people in the guild, and we were doing alright. But after a time, me and my friend John, mutual friend, we did a group together, the Stone Core Heroic mode, and he got angry with the tank and healer because they were just pugs, and we had somebody else in our guild, so he just rage quit. I got angry with him. I rage quit too. The next morning I wake up and we're out of this really, really badass guild, which ended up doing a bunch of heroics and shit. So after that I just went nomad and I just PvP'd nonstop for, I think, till I started raiding with him.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that about sums us up, really.
Yeah. Alright, next we're going to show off our characters, because I don't think there's anything else we got to do for this episode.
Not
Alright.
really.
My character is Caravan. I'm a troll hunter, and I always have been. I've always enjoyed the troll because I started off as a night elf, and my friends always made fun of me for being alliance and whatnot. I wanted to be alliance, but I wanted to be a night elf. But they made me choose horde, and if anything, I wasn't going to be an undead. I was going to be a troll. So, because they look the most like night elves. Alright, your turn.
Alright, so with me, I am Dragovan. I am a goblin warlock, and I just pretty much have been ever since Cataclysm dropped. Started out as an undead warlock, and that was weird. But anyways,
I don't think you're recording.
yeah, I was recording for a second, that just dropped. Anyways, back to that.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I'm pretty geared right now. I'm actually a little bit better at raiding than him, not in terms of mechanics wise, but in terms of getting into groups and getting shit done. So
Yeah, he's a lot more aggressive. I'll try to, same way I join a guild. I'll try to be like, well, if you please, could I join your group, or if I have the right stuff? He's like, don't worry, I'm the shit. I will literally shit gold blocks for you guys, and oh, you're gonna love me. You're gonna love me. And then I'll pull last on DPS, but he's still in the group. He still gets gear.
I don't pull last in DPS. Half the time I'm pulling first.
We're gonna talk about this later.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm not good at getting into groups. And there's one time where a friend of our mutual friend, John, we're just gonna start calling him John from now on. Our friend John wanted to get into a group that we're in now, and what was fun was we tried to get him in subtly. I mean, a healer wasn't there for a week or something like that, so we're like, well, we have a priest friend, and he's pretty cool. He's pretty good. He's played for a while. He's just as skilled as us, and we think he's going to do really good.
And then I log on.
He logs on, thinking, oh, I'll just talk to Tav. I know him for a while. Tav, our raid leader.
I go into raid chat and I'm like, dude, get this guy in. Invite him now. He's really good.
Right now.
He's really good.
Right
Don't worry about it here. Baby. This guy's gear, it doesn't matter. He's good.
It doesn't matter. He's so good. I mean, he will birth you puppies. I don't have any more analogies. I'm already using my gold brick one that I used earlier. I mean, he will give you everything you could possibly want. He gets in the group, does pretty well for his gear, but is still under-geared like we thought in the first place. And I immediately start texting the raid leader. I'm like, by the way, Dragovan, his strong point is not subtlety.
Not at all.
No.
Hey, that's the fun part about me, though.
I believe that's the last story we have up.
Yeah, that's about it.
Alright. Well, the next episode we're going to do, I believe, is over the different roles of the different types of characters. So, we haven't figured out how to end these, so thank you.
See you guys next time. Just stealing that from Husky.